My dear brethren and sisters in Islam, due to time constraints, last week's khutbah was centered on the second part of the minor signs of the Day of Judgment. The day of the resurrection is real, and there is no doubt about it. It's a day which will be the last one. From that day, there is no another day except the Day of Judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sounds a serious warning to the people by saying, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting until the signs of Allah come, or the angels, or Allah himself? And he says, when the signs of Allah, the communications of Allah come, then the iman, the faith of a believer will never benefit him, except if he's a believer before, or maybe he has done righteousness before the coming of that sign. So we have been talking about the minor signs of the Day of Judgment. Today we are going to talk about the major signs, the greater signs of the Day of Judgment. My dear brethren in Islam, the doomsday has a greater signs. The greater signs that were mentioned by the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam. But due to time constraint with that, we're trying to summarize it so that it doesn't take our time. Coming of Al-Imam Mahdi is one of the greater signs of the Day of Judgment. Mahdi, his name is Muhammad ibn Abdullah, and he's going to be born in Medina. The messenger says, it's going to bear my name and the name of my father, and he's going to be born in Medina. When he grew up as a righteous person, people would try to bring him out so that he can lead them to the right paths. They want someone that is going to lead them, to go out of the tunnel. But due to perseverance of the people, people are putting more effort on him. He now travels to Mecca. As he was circumambulating the Kaaba, people will be pointing at him. That is Muhammad. That's Mahdi. And before you know, people will now gather around him, and they will give their bay'ah, allegiance. And from there, he will become the leader of the Muslim Ummah, who is going to lead the Muslim Ummah to fight the army of Dajjal. This is a greater sign. I mentioned in the House of Asabash 1974 or 75 or 79, there was a fake Mahdi that came in the Kaaba. While the Imam finished the Subuh prayer, he grabbed the microphone and he said he was the Mahdi. It took 3 days. The Kaaba was not in the hands of the Saudi authority, but in the hands of the fake Mahdi and his people. It took 3 days. People do not even know what happened. Only those that pray inside the Mutaf that knew about this. Until when people want to go out, then the whole gates of Kaaba were blocked by the army. Fortunately, he was overpowered, and his army were overpowered. They ran into the basement, and then the Saudi authority, pour hot water into the basement. After filling the basement with the hot water, then they electrified it. And that made them to come out, and they were arrested. Some of them were killed. So he was subdued. That was a fake Mahdi. But the real Mahdi will come from Medina. This one came from Yemen. His name is Muhammad ibn Abdullah, but he came from Yemen. When the messenger mentioned that the one that is going to lead the Ummah will come from Medina, he will be born in Medina, and he will be, the people will pay their allegiance to him in Mecca between Maqam Ibrahim and Hajar al-Aswad. Then appearance of Antichrist, Dajjal, is one of the greater signs of the Day of Judgment. The messenger warned the Ummah. He says, whenever you recite Tahiyya, the last Tahiyya, even the first one and the second one, you can recite it. You say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhabi jahannam, wa min adhabi al-qabr, wa min fitnati al-mahaya wal-mamat, wa min fitnati man? Masih Dajjal. Oh Allah, I seek your refuge, your protection. From who? From the torment of the grave, torment of the hellfire, the calamities of death alive, and the fitna of Dajjal. Dajjal is real. One day the messenger delivered a sermon. He talked about Dajjal intensively, and they were asking Muhammad alayhi salam, even the companions were thinking that he is going to be behind a tree there. The way the messenger was talking about it. He said he's going to live with you for 40 days. One day is equivalent to 1 year. The second day will be equivalent to a month. And the third day will be like a week. And the remaining days will be like the days of your dunya. Which means 37 days will be like ours, but the other days will be 1 year, 1 month, and 1 week. 3 days. He is Antichrist, that is the Dajjal we're talking about. This Dajjal is the new world order. The American is leading now. The Europe and the America were trying to bring the new world order. They were talking about one God, and that is the Dajjal. One economy, one religion, one power, political power. That's why we have cashless policy. The moment you refuse to abide by what they say, then they close your account. You don't have nowhere to go. You have to join them. That is the nifaq. This cashless society that you think is, wallah, it's not good for us. It's like, making preparation for the coming of a Dajjal. If you look behind $1, you will see the one-eyed Dajjal. That dollar, that money, American dollar, is a Dajjal dollar. It's Dajjalistic. You, in ji ba saukace ce kan kahiri. Daga rakiya na kashe kan kahiri 100. So that $1, it's only behind $1 that you see the one-eyed Dajjal. The other dollars, maybe the $5, the $10, and the $50, the $20, the $100, you see is it Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, or who? Whosoever he is, Abraham Lincoln, or whosoever he has to be. That's the picture. But $1 is related to Dajjal. That is to say, that money is a sign of Dajjal. So you people are made to worship Dajjal by following the dollar. There are currencies which are stronger than dollars. The pound sterling is stronger than dollar. The euro is stronger than dollar, but you don't hear their names. You need to see how these Arab people will be happy when you give them dollars. They prefer the dollar to their own money. So that dollar is Dajjalistic. They want to have one religion, and that's the worshipping of Dajjal. So this Dajjal is physically deformed as mentioned by the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, one-eyed deformed, that is one eye like enough, and Kafir is written on his forehead. Every believer recognizes him, and either literate or illiterate can read that Kafir. Kafir is written on his head, on his forehead. He is crooked, short. His people have flat face. He claimed messiahship, that is messengership. Later on, he will kill him to be God. He has been given spiritual powers at the time of tribulations, hunger, starvation, bloodshedding, no food, no water. That is Akhir Zaman. Then he will be coming from Isfahan, that is in Iran, joined by about 17,000 Jews. And that's why the Jews are there now, waiting for him. He will provide food, safety, security to those that follow him. If you say you're not going to believe in him, then you tell him whatever Allah can do that he cannot do. He commands the sky to rain, crops to grow, spiritual powers has been given to him. He can show you the real Jannah and the real hellfire. And he can kill and bring it back to life. To show that yes, he is spiritually empowered. That is a trial time. Satan is at his disposal. He shows people heaven and earth, he kills and restricts. Ulama and women will follow him. Multiple battles will be fought between him and the Muslim army under the commandership of who? Imam Mahdi. He lives for 40 days. Then the second ayah, the second sign is the coming, return of Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam. When Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam comes down, he descends, he's going to look wherever he finds the Dajjal and he's going to kill him. Before killing him, there is also the emergence of the beast of the earth, Dabatul Ard. That Daba, that camel, that she camel given to Prophet Saleh is going to return with a staff of Musa and a ring of Prophet Suleiman. If he touches you with the staff of Musa, it's written on your forehead, Muslim. When you are touched with the ring of Suleiman, then it's written you are a kafir. And from there, there's a it distinguishes between Muslim and non-Muslim. So emergence of this dabba, وَإِذَا وَقَعَ الْقَوْلُ أَخْرَجَ اللَّهُمْ دَابَّةً مِنَ الْأَرْضِ تُكَلِّمُ أَنَّ النَّاسَ كَانُوا بِآيَاتِنَا لَا يُوقِنُونَ. Then sun rising from the west is another sign. We have no time, we are just trying to summarize. The emergence of Gog and Magog, Yajuj and Majuj. These are two, horrible creatures, Gog and Magog. Two subhuman, they are tribes, they are thugs, gangsters, vicious, very hostile creatures. They are very corrupt. They forces ravaging on earth at the end time. Very wild, inhuman. They are known during the era of Zulkarnain, when he builds, a barrier between the people whom are being harmed by the Yajuj and Majuj. قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا قال ما مكنني فيه ربي خير. We don't have enough time to say about them, but they are very corrupt, they are very inhuman, they are very vicious, gangsters, and they are thugs. When the disturbances of these people, the Yajuj, Majuj, Gog and Magog, become too much, Prophet Isa will now ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will send down, maggots. They will eat from their neck and they die. After the death, their remnants will be disturbing people with their pungent smell. And then Allah will send down rain by the prayer of Prophet Isa, and then Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasallam ask Allah, and then Allah will send down creatures like birds, they will take them away. And rain will come and purify the earth. Then as we are doing that, another sign of the day of judgment is appearance of the smoke, which will come from the west. Then taking off of the Quran, destruction of the Kaaba are all bigger signs of the day of judgment. Then Allah will send a wind that will take the life of the believers, leaving behind only those that are non-believers. The messenger mentioned, "La taqumu sa'atu illa ala ashrari nas." Then trumpet will be blown. The messenger alayhi salatu wasalam says, when the trumpet is going to be blown, the first man to hear the sound of that trumpet is someone who is cohabiting, who is having a sexual affair in anus with a small boy beside his camel. He will be the first person to hear that sound of the trumpet. And from there, everyone will die. And then after we are raised, then we'll go to Jerusalem for our General Assembly, Universal Assembly. Due to time constraints, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive all our shortcomings and accept our good deeds. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our iman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.